welcome to the show. That's right, it is the 12 Days of Cheshire, late night with the Cheshire Cat, or perhaps, more midday, something around tea time with a little, crumpet for the afternoon. I was thinking, I am energized today, and I realize we're all missing live theater, of course. But why don't I just give you all the things you are missing in one little one cat show? So, here is the show. We come out, we introduce the pantomime. We say, you have to boo the villain, boo. You have to twanky the twanky, twanky. You have to cheer the hero, cheer. Hooray, I guess is more of a cheer than just saying cheer. It's different than the word boo. And then we start the pantomime, usually with a big song and dance. Song and dance, imagine other people, imagine music, imagine dancing, and then the story begins. The story would be a fairy tale, much like the one at the end of this episode, and then we add songs, we add jokes, we add political references. At one point we say, no he didn't, oh yes he did, oh no he didn't, oh yes he did. And then there's a big problem in the pantomime. The hero is in trouble. So what happens? You hear my soundtrack and I come in and I say, oh hello, I'm the Cheshire Cat. And from then on, the story is largely about me and how I'm solving all the problems and how I have the only solution. We sing some more, we dance some more, we have usually some fun props. At some point, the child comes up, we play with the children from the audience, and sometimes we throw things in the audience. There's an intermission, which we will have on this show too. There is a snack, and then we go back, we do some more. There is a wedding, there is a bow, and voila. That not satisfy your little pantomime craving? I thought so. And if it didn't, well, oh, did you hear that? I know what that means. On day 6 of the 12 Days with Cheshire, we have a beautiful gift of eggs. 6 organic eggs. And you know what it is good to do with these eggs? Make an omelette. And that has lots of protein. I'll be right back.
Suddenly my words reach someone else's ears, reach someone else's heart, strings too.
In addition to enjoying this wonderful broadcast, please don't forget why we're here. To raise money for the Red Sandcastle Theatre. It's a wonderful institution and the home of tremendous experimentation and wonderful, wonderful experiments in theatre. Please support the Red Sandcastle by going to the link attached and giving what you can to allow them to stay open. And once they are open, please go and attend, because you will see some of the most startling, wonderful theatre in the city.
Oh, forgive me a worst. I'm over it. I don't need your approval. I have Jeffrey. That's right.
And now for the interview portion of this show, of course, my favorite part. We have today panto player Anand. Welcome to the show.
It's Al. It's Al. Al Pachino. How are you? I'm good. Nice.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, you look very different than what I remember. I guess the pandemic has been hard on you, huh?
Well, it's it's a pandemic, but also I've spent a lot of time in the savannah. I went on a safari, and I ended up getting abandoned by my troops. So I've just been living under that tree.
It's a beautiful tree.
Tree of life. Oh!
Well, we definitely need some life in these times. And as you know, we've been getting nostalgic about past pantomimes. And I remember you as a wonderful panto player. What was your favorite onstage moment in the past 9 pantomimes?
Oh, I think my favorite was in the when we did the life of Rasputin.
Oh.
The life and times of Rasputin as a pantomime. Because it was strongly political and had social agenda, and it was also hilarious.
Yeah, funny. I don't recall that one, but there have been a lot of pantomimes.
You don't remember that? I played the Tsarina.
Ah, It sounds so memorable. How curious that it is eluding me at this moment. I will check my records in a second, but when you're backstage preparing as a panto player for the pantomime, any funny things happen backstage?
Oh, all sorts of funny things. In fact, most of the hilarity is backstage. I'll tell you, but it's because of the people that we do the show with. You know, typically we rehearse, the way that I like to work is we rehearse a backstage show as well as an onstage show. So the show, for example, might have an audience member who comes in with a tray of water, you know, but backstage we set up a whole restaurant scene of the guy filling the water and then his mother calling and, you know, maybe the debtor coming to collect the money. We've got a whole thing happening. So one night we were doing it and we got a little too carried away in the backstage play, you know, and I was playing a debt collector and I punched this guy in the nose, you know, and then he had to come out and he was supposed to play this kid who had leukemia. And oh man, he had blood streaming down his face. It was hilarious.
That sounds so funny and so memorable.
It was horrifying for the children. They screamed. They had a terrible time. But if you knew the backstage shenanigans, you would have loved it.
Well, I mean, I was backstage for every pantomime, so I do not recall these shenanigans.
Oh,
What's the name of this pantomime again?
It was the life and times of Rasputin, but it went through different, you know, it was kind of, they took an Aladdin script, they took a Cinderella script, and they kind of mashed them together, you know, added a bit of Snow White flavor to it, made it about Rasputin.
Yes,
because I wanted to do stuff.
Aladdin is cat, me being the cat, of course. That was very good. But who did you play again?
I played the Tsarina.
Zarina.
Yeah, it was the Tsarina whose son is sick.
You know, I'm just checking the poster board of all the past pantos.
Yeah.
And I do not see the Rasputin Tsarina character on here.
Well, I mean, we wanted to do an experiment with the pantomime, so we didn't advertise it or make any kind of memorabilia related. But the stories are there, and in fact, if you go backstage, you'll probably see on the wall scratched. You know, I wrote Tsarina was here. You know, but
Al, you were not in the pantomime, were you?
Well, I wanted to be. Nobody asked me. All my life, I've wanted to be in a pantomime. Nobody ever asked me.
That is so tragic. Well, you know what? Maybe perhaps you could be in next year's pantomime, should the pantomime return.
I would love that. I would love to be in your pantomime. I'll play anything. I'll play a Cheshire Cat. I'll play Alice. I'll play anything you want.
Well, the Cheshire Cat is taken by the Cheshire Cat, of course. I always just play myself. I cannot play any other role.
Well, maybe the Cheshire Cat is a cousin, you know, from Bournemouth.
You know what? I think that would be exceptionally memorable. If you're going to be in the panto next year, I have to teach you the secret panto handshake. Are you ready?
Yeah, what's that?
You put your paw in all the way.
Uh-huh.
And you stack them on my paw.
Okay.
And then together we say, go panto! And then we try not to hit the ceiling.
Go panto!
You certainly passed the audition, Al.
Wow.
Now here's the cow. 1, 2, 3, they're gonna run after me, 'cause I'm the best bovine they never got to keep. I said 1, 2, 3, they're gonna run after me. They thought I was gonna stay, but I'm really gonna leave.
And now for the serious part of the show, where we look at the world events, things that are happening around town, around the country, around the continent, and around the globe. And now to the news.
Hey, it's me, Matt, the pantomime player. So I've got some news right here. It's going to be really good. I'm going to tell you right now. Oh, no, I've got breaking news. Taking you to the breaking news. Hello, it's me, the... Hello, it's me. It's me, the Mad Hatter, live on location. That's at the, where am I? Can't see anything. Oh, my hat. Well, the Borogroves look mimsy, and the Momrows are, yeah, they're definitely out graving. And the Furloughs and the Bandersnatches, well, I haven't seen them, but beware the Bandersnatch. They're very crazy. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm not crazy. What? Who are you looking at? I'm not crazy. What, you calling me crazy? I'm not the one who's crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. Okay. Do you want some tea? Back to you, Matt. Breaking news is the best, isn't it? I love breaking news. Maybe we'll get to my report sometime, but you know I don't make the rules around here. I've been Matt the Pantomime Player for Action News at Christmas time.
What I promised I give you, and that was a snack at intermission.
Hello, and welcome to Pandemic Panto Intermission Treats. One of my favorite treats was the year we did Excalibur, and one of the intermission treats was a bag of runes. Well, today, I'll show you how to make your own. Now, to make this bag of ancient runes, you're simply going to need candies that you can find in your own home. You can use things that you maybe had over the holidays. In fact, if you've still got candies from Halloween, it's a great way to both use up some leftovers and make a clever play on ancient runes. All you'll need are some simple candies or chocolates, things that look like rocks. You can use jawbreakers, things that feel like rocks, or you can use things that look like rocks. You can even find colorful candies that look like stones or rocks at a local bulk store. Here are just a few examples. I've used these chocolate-covered caramels, some chocolate rosebuds, Rolos. You can even find chocolates shaped like little rocks or seashells. Look at the gorgeous colors. To make your bag of runes, you'll simply need a bag. Then you're going to take a few of your runes, place them inside. Look at some of those gorgeous colors. Give it a little shake, and you're done. A bag of runes. Bon appetit!
Thank you, Linette. Delicious as always. And now, on with the show. And now it is time for a fairy tale. The original version of Little Red Riding Hood. Yes, this is the Cheshire Cat's classic. Once upon a time, a little girl with OCD lived with her parents and their cat, of course, in a cozy cottage. She was obsessed with two things: the family's beautiful, intelligent cat and the red cloak her grandmother had made for her. It was the color of rubies and had a hood, and she wore it everywhere. This was how she came to be called the Little Red Riding Hood, of course. One morning, Little Red Riding Hood's mother presented her with a basket. In the basket were some breads and jams and cheeses and fruit. Not as good as tuna, but still, tasty. Your grandmother is not feeling well. Be a good girl and take this basket of food to her. Do not talk to anyone on the trip and walk quickly through the woods. Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother lived in a different cozy cottage on the other side of a dark and creepy forest. It was not the little girl's favorite trip to take alone, but she loved her grandmother and wanted to give her the food. Cat, come with me to make this journey nicer. If you are with me, I'll be less afraid of the dark and creepy forest. The cat was very comfy in the cottage, but decided a little adventure would be fun. Besides, there might be some sardines in that basket right at the bottom. So she agreed to come on board. They set off. With the cat and my cloak, I feel safe, the Little Red Riding Hood kept repeating. I feel safe. She also counted her steps because she knew that it was 30,427 steps to Grandma's house. Normally, In Little Red Riding Hood's position, a little girl would be singing and calling out to animals as they walked. Oh, little bunny, cute little bunny, etc. But Little Red Riding Hood was no mood for that. She was just counting her steps and proceeding directly along the route. At 2,643, they were making good time. The cat was looking at an especially fat chipmunk when appeared a wolf, blocking their passage on the path. He had big ears, the better to hear them with, big eyes, the better to see them with, and a big mouth, the better to eat them with. Now there is a magnificent killer, thought the cat. Wow, I'm impressed. Little girl, what are you doing here all alone in the forest? Asked the wolf. The cat told the little girl not to talk with him, but it was too late. She was too polite to not answer a direct question. We're on my way to my grandmother's house to bring her some food. She is not well. Whoa, that's sad to hear. She's an old woman who is sick and alone? Well, yes, she lives just at the end of this path. It's 784 steps away. I was planning on eating you, but your story has charmed me. I shall allow you to proceed. The wolf moved off the path, and the little girl and the cat continued along their way. Little Red Riding Hood continued happily numbering her steps, but the cat was suspicious. She jumped out of the basket and decided to run ahead. At Grandmother's cottage, she saw the wolf knock on Grandma's door and speak in a tiny little voice imitating the little girl. Grandmother, he said, it is I, your granddaughter, here to bring you a basket of food. Wow, my dear, your voice has become so husky, said the grandmother. And why do you speak before spoken to? Very rude. The cat leapt in front of the wolf. Do not open the door. This is not your granddaughter, but a big bad wolf who intends to eat you up. I am Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf was very confused. It was just bad etiquette to interfere in a hunt. The grandmother was also confused. Red Riding Hood always knocked 3 times. She peeped out the window and saw a wolf and a cat arguing, which is a strange sight to see. She opened the window just a bit. Cat, come in here through the crack. The cat slipped in through the crack, as cats are able to do. They can pretty much do whatever they want, of course. Then she and the grandmother hatched a plan. We have to be quick. Little Red Riding Hood should be here in 438 steps. They built a large fire on the hearth. Presently, said the cat, the wolf will try to gain access through the chimney, and he will get burned by the fire. He was known for following this modus operandi since his run-in with the 3 pigs. For backup, the granny called the local woodcutters association, who were part of the neighborhood watch. After a few moments, the wolf did try to enter through the chimney, burned his tail, and ran off into the forest to find a cool stream to soothe his burns. You would think he would have known better. Little Red Riding Hood arrived, stepped 3,427 right to the door. She knocked exactly 3 times, very pleased with her precision, and she delivered the basket of goodies. Shortly after, the woodcutter arrived and a wonderful picnic ensued, and everyone lived happily ever after. The moral of this story? The cats are the best. And that is today's story time. And that is the end of episode 6 and the end of 2020. Goodbye 2020. We are ready for a new year. Let it come in. Let it come in. Let all this sparkle sparkle. See you next year.